Hi, Cameron here with my thoughts on old school Renaissance sort of stuff and why today it matters a lot more than it used to. I mean, we're picking up steam on the OSR front, and I realized I really enjoy fast role-playing experiences, but there's something about reading old school materials that you don't get out of these obvious things. The rules are written in an esoteric way, and when you break them down, there's a little balance behind everything. And it has a really tough but fair, ultimately. You can kill mini magic users off by throwing stones at them. Low level. But fighters started off with enough money that they could buy decent equipment. Why do fighters have more money than anybody else starting off? And that is primarily because they need it. Everybody else has special tricks of the trade. Fighters really have one thing that they do, and they have to shine to protect everybody. And it epitomizes what it means to play the role. Your attributes are balanced in such a way that there are race minimums and occasionally race maximums for statistics. And that may not flow well with today's day and age, but ultimately, this was a human-centric game, and humans come in all sorts of shapes, sizes, and everything else. And, but we're all medium creatures. I mean, unless you're one of those really, really exceptional individuals that are outside of the size category because you have differing factors. So the key point here, though, is that you have several differences between every character, and the cool thing about the OSR is not every character is built to survive in a harsh and dangerous world. I mean, Warhammer thinks it's doing something unique with its grim and perilous, or is White-Hand, or whatever. This game didn't care where you came from. What mattered was you will probably not survive unless you think things through. And ultimately, that comes down to the fighter's choice of equipment at first level. The tactics that the party uses. There are instances that I feel that this is limited based on the description of the attributes. But for instance, intelligence measures many things like reasoning and kind of it's your gut feeling almost about could I do this? Is this logical? Like a gut logic almost. Whereas wisdom is like, I've had an experience similar to this. So intelligence you could base off linking two things that you've heard about, whereas wisdom is like linking something to something you've experienced. And it's a bit of a confusing sort of feeling, but ultimately, when you get down to the gravel of everything, because there's all these tiny little bits and pieces, like you have a mosaic that is the OSR, and every little thing was balanced out in such a way that knowing that your thief would level up faster if he or she could survive long enough mattered. Knowing that if you played anything other than a human, you might be treated differently, but you were bringing extra to the table. And I don't believe there's like a real world comparison. I mean, if you've ever been to high school, you know about jocks, that they could be kind of orcish in general. Like, but then again, you get the captain of the team, and he could be a paladin, you know, and or he could be, you know, anything else. But like, you have this connection, sort of like there are character types and there are player types. And I was wrong. In the forward here, it does say that cooperate with the dungeon master and respect his decisions. If you disagree, present your viewpoint with deference to his position as a game moderator. Be prepared to accept his decision as final, and remember that not everything in the game will always go your way. I love that. They need to bring that back. That, in addition to what's stated in the Dungeon Master's Guide, matters, because if you have somebody moderating, they're making calls. If you cannot agree with the calls being made, you're not playing the same game. That's true in sports. That's true in a tournament-style card game. Like, you can't just pull your sideboard in Magic while you're playing the game. That would be ridiculous, right? That's why we have game moderators. And the OSR, or just old school in general, really epitomizes a need for moderation, because you have complexity. And complexity is not a bad thing. It's just harder to get into. My personal experience was, I was kind of young when I first tried to role play, and I didn't really get that. And so it was difficult at first to accept the decision of somebody why you couldn't do something, because maybe they don't understand what it is you're trying to accomplish. You know how you could see a picture and you interpret it one way, and somebody else can see that same picture and see something else? Well, there's a word for that, but the same thing goes with verbal description. Like, say you're trying to sneak past the orc, you know, well, did you go behind him? Are you just underneath his nose? What's going on? Or, does he have his arm back here, just lounging, and then you're kind of going beside him? You need to be descriptive in what you're doing, but in such a way that it promotes forward progress in the game. And as a moderator, I believe they are suggesting that the game master should make rolls in order to interpret how the opposition would react. The game master or the dungeon master is not supposed to be your opposition. They are a moderator. They are neutral. And that is why they roll. So there's a tough but fair aspect. And the game moderator could decide that, well, in your circumstance, you have some advantages because of the things you set up prior. There's not a modern game that, and by modern I mean modern design, that really reinforces that to this extent. And part of that is the complexity, the amount of time it takes to get into old school gaming. And I think it's kind of smart that the old school Dungeon Master's Guide and all this, and the Player's Handbook, they don't really use the percentile dice a whole bunch. Rollmaster did, though. And part of the reason for that is nothing should feel like I mean, your player characters are kind of out of their element when they're adventuring. So being able to look at a situation and assess that you have a 60% chance of doing something when they were probably stable hands at some point, or a wet nurse, or any other sort of crazy backstory that is just so mundane, and then you're like, oh look, I can cast prestidigitation, so when they have this sort of awakening to adventure, the dice give that visceral experience of like 2d4, okay, that's a 2 to 8 result. And here are my options on that. And it's fun because you have this, once again, tough but fair. It really reminds me of like Demon Souls for PlayStation 3. Like, for a long time, games wanted to hold your hand, and then here's this thing that's like, here's a tool, use it, In this, you didn't just die and then are reborn with less life or whatever. You have to start all over. And there are hirelings and henchmen. And early on, I was under the impression that I'm a hero or whatever. But that's not how you start out. You're not a hero. You're a guy trying to avoid the mundane life. Or a girl, whatever. You're a person that decided to step away from the boring, everyday philosophy of work, live, get paid, pay bills. Your life is supposed to be something more and something that you direct. Even if it ends badly, you will probably live better than most of the people that go about their day-to-day existence waiting for that next orc raid. And that enough makes it worth taking an arrow or two to the knee. Because when you make your own decisions, you're not beholden to the downlooking of anybody else. I mean, granted, there are social situations or whatever, but ultimately, you're making calls. You're a player in the game of life. You know, you're not just background noise like any NPC character. And based on the roll, 3 to 18, the average is 11 or 10.5. But if the average is 10, you stand a slightly better chance than any individual. Everything was weighed, checked, and balanced. There's not anybody with the level of creativity, honestly. You have to be a pretty creative individual in order to do this. And the level of support that you would have to have in order to make what is essentially an original idea nowadays, you have to have the support of people. And that's one of the reasons why I posted the community challenge, because there's once again that gravelly mosaic. And sorry, I'm on my laptop and I have to keep on waiting till it goes to a certain PowerPoint and then I charge it. So you wouldn't have the same mosaic if you changed a few pieces. It would look similar, but ultimately it comes down to what is your vision, and then you make the mechanics match that vision. I hope that makes sense. All right, Kyber one out. Please enjoy.